Dead end, no hunting, no access to public land. But the map shows that this Forest Service road goes all the way through. Huh. Well, I guess I'm gonna play it safe and turn around. This was a Forest Service road that I had never been on before. One of the few in the Ozarks. And I wanted to check it out. On the map, it looked like it had multiple water crossings along it. Probably bridges, I don't know. But yeah, I'm confused by that because the map clearly shows the road going through. I'll have to note that and maybe ask the Forest Service about it. But I'm back. I'm back in Sully. I'm back in my Gladiator, and I have missed him so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Ross Monster. It has been absolutely perfect for the trips that we were doing. But I am glad to be back in Sully. This is my happy place. My butt in this seat is just, I mean, this seat after over 4 years is just molded to my butt, and it is so comfortable, and I am just so comfortable in this space. So no, Sully is not fixed yet, and no, I still do not have a plan of what that is going to be. It is definitely between just another 3.6 Pentastar, which I can get for cheap, or a 5.7 from America's Most Wanted. Those are the two choices. I have been talking to America's Most Wanted. Still not sure what that might look like, so that's why I haven't made a decision. But ultimately, it's going to come down to finances, really. So we'll see. But today, today was going to be two main purposes. One was to check out that trail. That's over. And two is I have been getting reports that day 4 of the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail, the technical part of day 4, what is one of the more technical trails in the Ozark National Forest, has been graded. So I'm curious about that because there were some good sized rock ledges on that trail, and if they have graded it, I'm curious what that looks like now. So, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hop back on the highway and circle around in the normal way. Oh, there's a lot of traffic. This is a tight turn. There we go. But circle back in the normal way, and I'm going to go north to south instead of the usual south to north. South to north is uphill and is the more challenging way to run that. But because I don't know what the conditions are, I'm gonna go down it just to make my life easier. This is a day trip. I'm not camping tonight because we got a lot of things to do. So we have a lot of stuff going on at home, but I wanted to get out and go see. All right, back on familiar ground. Well, with me not being able to run that other Forest Service road, I still have two objectives. I've just changed the first one. The first one is now to check out this overlook. I've always thought fall in the Ozarks was special, beautiful. The last several years, it's been kind of a bust on the fall colors. But now that I've had the perspective of the trees around Glacier National Park, the larch pines, I think that's what they were, and the fact that and that beautiful bright yellow contrasted with the green of the firs, that may be the most incredible fall scene I've ever seen. But from what I've seen, the fall colors are still lingering. Actually, they may be just past peak, but still in the peak range. So there's an overlook right up here. I've stopped that many times, but very rarely in the fall. So we're gonna go check it out. All right, this little spot right up there. Just pull in here. I think this is a good place to air down my tires too. Let them be airing down while I'm checking out the colors, because I'm still at highway pressures. Well, the problem with having a new rig like the Ross Monster and still learning it, when you're going on a trip without your primary off-road vehicle, you tend to take tools that you use out of your primary. And I just realized that my tire deflators, even my backup tire deflator, is in Upton. So I'm gonna have to go the old manual way. Guess I'm gonna count to maybe 30 for each tire and see what that gets me. I don't know. I'm not sure that it's peaked yet. Although I think I'm impacted by the fact that the sun is in a very bad spot. But the colors are pretty nice. Just washed out by the sun. Well, I don't think the Ozarks are going to compete with Glacier National Park. I mean, it's Glacier National Park, but it's still pretty darn beautiful. Still a very special place. I only got the tires down to 25 psi, but that should be enough for this trip. I wonder where this guy is. Oh, he's in there. He's been sitting there for a while. He didn't pass me. But I know some of you are going to wonder, how's Sully doing? Well, Sully's doing exactly the same as when I dropped him off at the dealership 5 weeks ago. Runs for the most part, runs fine. But after the whole thing, they did a leak down test and put a bore scope down in there and discovered that cylinder 6 is bad. So, it drives pretty good. There's noticeably less power than it used to have, especially climbing hills. It really wants to be at higher RPMs. And when you used to be able to climb a steep hill in 4-low second gear, that's where the Jeep starts itself in 4-low. Sometimes I have to manually put it into first to get it moving. So, not ideal. Definitely needs to be addressed. But for now, I'm just gonna carry on. And every time I stop, like when I aired down back there, I did check the oil level, and it was fine. Probably when I get off this trail, and I'm definitely by the time I get home, I'll probably have to add a quart to it. By the time I get home after being on the interstate, I don't enjoy driving on the interstate in this thing right now, because it lacks power. It wants to flop between 5th and 6th gear. When I'm re-geared to 513s, it should be cruising at 8th, 7th, no problem. So yeah, this is the road that I would have come out on had I been able to. That's where I wanted to pop out. right there is one of my concerns if I do put the 5.7 in my Gladiator, as I do not want any engine noise covering up the sound of the leaves under the tires. That was a beautiful sound. Or the sound of the stream that I drove by at the very beginning of this video. I don't want to cover up any of that. I don't want to hear blah, 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 blah. I want to hear the sounds of the tires, of the stream, of the birds. I want to hear all that. So that's a big deal to me. Alright, I'm approaching an area with a lot of really deep mud holes. There's just been bypass after bypass after bypass formed around them. If the Forest Service has been doing work here, so far I have seen zero evidence of that. But if they have been doing work here, I'm curious to see what they did there. Like, this is not graded at all. Of course, there's nothing here that would prohibit, some sort of logging truck or something to get down here. And if the Forest Service is doing maintenance out here, I suspect that it is to begin some sort of logging operation, and so other trucks could get down here. This is pretty tight. I see zero evidence, so maybe the trail is perfectly fine and we're going to have a fun technical afternoon. Well, if the Forest Service has been doing work in here, this would be one of the first places they addressed, because that is ridiculously deep. That is a bypass that people have created around it. That's not so bad. I'll probably just go through there. But the Forest Service definitely would have filled this in or done some kind of maintenance here, and they have not. I'm not sure where the person that reported that, I'm not sure where they were, but it doesn't look like they were on this trail. Well, it's really dry right now, so the mud holes aren't that deep and squishy. I know that mud hole down there is absolutely disgusting. So this is the correct way here. All this is just torn up to the right. Go this way. But more than anything, I continue to be surprised that the Forest Service has not shut this whole area down, because it is very popular with just off-roaders in general, but a lot of side-by-sides use this area because it's real close to some private park and camping spots where they can drop their toy haulers and all that sort of stuff and then wheel this area. I've seen Jeeps and other off-road highway vehicles do stupid stuff in this area, so I'm not just going to put the full blame on the side-by-sides, but this gets a lot of heavy use by side-by-sides, and it's just that area up there, anything with mud in it in places in the Ozarks just gets torn up, dug out, because they're not using, they're not checking the holes, they're not using proper recovery methods, they're just using speed and spinning tires and just having a big old time, but tearing up the trails. And every year when the new motor vehicle use maps come out, I just keep being surprised when I see these trails still open. And maybe that's part of the strategy. Maybe they leave them open so they can only tear up this area and not divert to other areas and tear them up. So maybe that's part of the strategy. would be valid. Definitely keeps this place interesting. Well, I think I'm wrong. I think this is the most, or was, the most technical spot on the trail. I just didn't recognize it because it's basically nothing now. But, I mean, this used to be big ruts, big drop-offs, like hit your skid plate going up. Kind of things. Now I may be wrong. It may just be that I'm looking at it from another direction. But it's got this angle here up the right. I'm not seeing any oh yeah, here's some skid plate marks. It's got the tree that everybody kind of goes that way and rubs into the tree. This may be it. Huh. Well, I'll know for sure as I get further down this trail. I don't have these obstacles like pinpoint marked as waypoints. Maybe I should. But from this angle, that sure looks like it. But it also doesn't look like it's been recently filled in, so I'm confused. And we ran this trail back in February. So we've run this trail this year. We'll see. I'm gonna keep going. Well, that was wild. Had I not set my camera up there and had to walk back up and get it, I wouldn't have recognized it. I would have just driven right on by. Still looking. Where are the ledges? But yeah, I'm gonna have to post that and try to find out some info on that. Because someone definitely filled that in. And it's been filled in for a while because it's had a lot of traffic on it. But I don't think it was the Forest Service. I don't know if I can fit under that. Hopefully I still have a saw in here. Wow. I think that was pushed over or pulled over. I don't know, maybe it wasn't pulled over, because surely if someone pulled it over, they would have cut that across the trail. Like, surely. But this was the fun spot. Lots of memories in this rut here. Breaking my window on one of these roots up here, on my Wrangler.
You already dug it in. That sounded like glass. You broke out a window?
Yeah,
you guys shove some mud in there too.
Yep. No body damage, just my window. Just lots of good challenging stuff, especially when it's wet. I don't know. It's possible that was pulled over to cut this off, but if they did, surely they would have cut that too. Now to see if I have my saw. I don't think I put it in. I don't think I put it in Upton, but we'll see. Let's see. Aha! I have it, and I have a hatchet. So, this is why it's so very important to me that each vehicle that we own has its own unique equipment, because what this tells me is that since these were left in Sully, I did not have these on my trip, and that is not good planning. About my last trip, that is not good planning. I got to make a note and purchase wood cutting things for the big rig. It's actually a lot taller than it looked up there. Yeah, I can fit through that, no problem. Well, I am getting sad. There's lots of memories on these obstacles, and I'm not too worried about it. I mean, come springtime, get some good spring rains, it'll wash away a lot of that fill in there and return it to its fun state. But yeah, I can't think that this was the Forest Service that did any of this. I gotta think it was an individual or group that came in here and did that. Yeah, this big rock here. There used to be a massive rock here that kind of wedged your tires. This is gone and filled in. This has gone from being one of the more difficult trails in the Ozarks, and at that point when I created it, the most difficult trail on the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail, the most difficult day of the OAT, now is no big deal. No big deal at all. Yeah, that makes me sad. It doesn't change how beautiful this trail is and where it takes you. That doesn't change. Well, in addition to my tire deflators, I realized that I forgot another key piece of gear that I always have with me. And that's my sandals. Luckily, the water was low enough back there that I was able to find rocks to hop across without getting my tennis shoes wet. Because I am actually wearing shoes today. Because it's cold. It's barely above freezing. It is currently 33 degrees. And that's a little cold for me to wear sandals on the regular. So, but I forgot them. I left them at home in the closet. In my haste to leave the house this morning, I just overlooked them. I actually thought I had a pair in here. So that's what happened. I thought I had a pair in here that I just leave in here. But I did not. I took them out because we went on our trip. And I don't have sandals. There is actually one new thing wrong with Sully, and it's a weird electrical gremlin. When I picked it up, it had been sitting at the dealership for 5 weeks. I knew there was a really good chance my battery was going to be dead, like dead, and it was. I don't know if there's some parasitic drain somewhere, if I left my switch panel on for 5 weeks, if my aux battery charger just kept pulling a little bit here and there. I don't know where the source of that is, but I had a pretty good idea that my battery was going to be dead, and it was. And when that happens, electrical gremlins just go crazy in these things if you have a dead battery. So I got a new battery, but one thing that it's doing is when I shut it off and leave and then lock it and come back, as soon as I open the driver door, it's only the driver door, I can open any other door, but as soon as I open the driver door, it automatically locks. So I have to be certain that if I'm just, shutting it off to go, set up a camera or, move a tree off a trail or something like that, I've got to make sure that I have the key on me. And I do. I've got it in my pocket. Because normally it just stays in my center console. Because otherwise I'm going to be locked out. So that's weird. And when I actually sit in here and the Jeep detects the key inside, it will hit the lock button again and do 2 beeps for some reason. I mean, it's just fine, but it always does that. It will unlock. It will lock itself as soon as I open the door, which is just really weird. And I don't know if that's something that happened because of the dead battery, or maybe something needs to be reset. I'm not sure on that. So if you have any clue on what that might be, little electrical gremlins like that annoy the crap out of me, and I've never had them on this Jeep. So, okay, well, the Forest Service has done nothing through here, because if they had, this would be all very different. All right, right around this corner is a big Choose Your Own Adventure mud hole section. Let's see what it looks like. It's probably really dry because we haven't had any rain. Oh, no. Wow, this has been filled in. Like, this used to be easy 3-foot ruts through here. Wow. got it? Yeah. This has been completely filled in. Like there's no rut here anymore. I think only the Forest Service could have done this. Okay, right up here is a huge washout section that, oh my gosh, is completely filled in again. Wow. This used to take you seriously off camber into this left-hand wall. And now it is perfect, almost perfectly flat. Wow. And all this used to be massive ruts, super flexy here. Toyotas would always dip down and lift the rear tire big in the air right here. And now you could take a stock Subaru down it. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Ugh. Okay, this looks like this has got to be Forest Service maintenance through here. Not the other part. But I don't know. I got to find out. Well, there's one more section on this trail going uphill this way that has had some ledges and some larger rocks to negotiate with. And so we'll see what that section looks like. Well, they didn't fill that hill climb in. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be, but still had some. I mean, it still had some big rocks and stuff in it, big-ish. But wow, that's wild. So day 4 of the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail. Definitely not the hardest day anymore. Not by a long shot. I'm guessing day 5 is probably the hardest now, especially when water levels are up. Dang, that's crazy. Well, I just sent photos to my friends, Ben, Robert, Paul, Nathan, John, the normal crew that we did a cold water run with. We ran the full Ozark Overland Adventure Trail back in January. Redocumented it. Just sent them photos of the changes of day 4, and this is the gift that Ben sent. And Paul's reaction. Oh, did you see the last video where we introduced Kara's new Wrangler? It is the beautiful purple rain color. She has named it Ren, and we are super pumped about that Jeep. We knew we were going to be getting rid of one of the pink Jeeps, so just keeping one. It is hunting season here, so we have a massive deer camp set up. But we knew we were getting rid of one of them, and just got lucky and ended up getting rid of both pink Jeeps and getting a brand new purple Jeep. So mission still accomplished. 2 Jeep payments, now down into 1 Jeep payment, saving some money. We don't need 3 Jeeps, and now Kara's got a brand new 2026 Wrangler Rubicon X that she says She pretty much wants to keep stock for now because it came with a lift, re-geared 35s as part of the Rubicon X package. So we'll see how long that lasts. But we're super pumped about that. What a beautiful drive with the sun kind of poking through the trees, the deer camp, but really making the fall colors light up. All right, well, I'm back on the highway. Nice little spot here to air back up. But watch this. Watch this. So I get out, I lock it, go into the store, come back, immediately locks. And then I get in, shut the door. What is that? What is that for? Why? And it's unlocked. Then watch. Now, let's say I was just driving somewhere and I got out real quick, I turned it off and I parked. And my door lock buttons don't do anything. Like they're useless. But I turn it off. And I get out. There it goes. It just locked it. It just locked the door. So if I get out, whoop, make sure I have my key. Do I have my key? Oh, nope. See, I left my door. Left my key. Where'd my key go? I put it in the center console. See? If I got out and I realized and then shut the door, boom, I'm locked out. So I don't understand. But I'm going to air the tires back up and then head home. It has been a lovely afternoon. I'm curious on your take of that type of maintenance. Are you as an off-road community, are you for it? Maintaining the Forest Service, that second half is absolutely the Forest Service. Maintaining the trails like that, filling in obstacles, that sort of thing, or are you diehard against it? I mean, I think it is better than shutting an area down. I think that is way better than shutting an area down. And I know that nature will return the trail to its more fun state. Just give it a couple spring rains, and we'll be good to go again, back having fun on that trail. But for now, if you want to run day 4 on the Ozark Overland Adventure Trail in a bone stock vehicle or a RAV4 or a Subaru, now you can. You can go enjoy it as long as the water's not up. Anyway, I'm gonna air back up and head home. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, make sure that bell notification is pressed because a lot of people aren't getting notified because YouTube reasons. I don't know why. And if you like what we're doing and you want to consider supporting the channel through the Patreon link down below in the description or here on the QR code, that would be awesome. And for all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. See you next time. Bye.